Hello and welcome back to another video. In this problem, we're asked to compare the functions f of x is equal to x to the 10th and g of x is equal to e to the x by graphing both f and g in several viewing rectangles. We're asked, when does the graph of g finally surpass the graph of f? So I have them pulled up here in Desmos, and we can see here with y equals x to the 10th in red and y equals e to the x in green that, ignoring the negative side of the y-axis, e to the x is greater than x to the 10th for a little bit. Then they have this intersection point at 1.1. And then after that, x to the 10th is greater. However, this problem is asking us, when does the graph of g, e to the x, surpass x to the 10th? So what we know is that there has to be some point of intersection way down the line. And if we look up x to the 10th is equal to e to the x, then this is going to give us some intersection points. We can see at this point right here, maybe -1-ish. Okay, if we erase this, yep, there's an intersection point right there. At, maybe around x is equal to 1.1. Oh yeah, we have another intersection point right there. And it looks like this is about the only option, but if you scroll way out here, we have another intersection point at x is a little bit greater than 35, right? If you zoom in on it as far as you can on this particular calculator, you get 35.772. So how do we actually graph this area, right, where the actual intersection point happens? Well, you could start scrolling up, but you'd be scrolling for a while, right? Because if we look up e to the 35.772, right, if I can write that correctly, in a little bit of a weird position, trying to get this to fit in the screen, we can see that it's 3 times 10 to the 15th, right? It's very, very high up. And if we are to come back to this function, right, zoom out a little bit, let's keep it roughly this wide, get rid of this function, let's only worry about our two functions, and let's just set the y-axis, instead of going from -60 to 60, let's set it to 20,000 up to 20,100. If we look here, these are basically parallel. It's very, very hard to see the difference here. So the reason that I'm not manually finding this section on video is because it takes a very long time. If you look on the y-axis of this intersection point, which I have, we range from 3.43 to 3.431 times 10 to the 15th. This is about a range of 1 trillion points. And if we look on the x-axis, it's going from 35.771 to 35.772. So while it looks like there's an obvious intersection point, which we have right here, actually trying to graph it is very difficult because we're ranging over 0.001 on the x-axis and 1 trillion on the y-axis just to get a defined point. But now that we have it, we can see this is the point where e to the x surpasses x to the 10th at x is equal to 35.772, y is equal to 3.4306 times 10 to the 15th.